Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium on the 9th of June 2025. They're harvesting rice these days, so you can hear the mulcher in the background roaring, helping these men and women remove the rice from the stalks. The machine you can hear in the background, it's like a barrel kind of thing, and you throw the rice in that they cut, and it kind of slams it up against the barrel, and then all the rice falls to the bottom and out one end. So you can hear that in the background there. But today we're going to just run through a bunch of different pairs. I'm just going to show you a few things, just a really interesting, a very good way to analyze the charts. And as always, I start on the bigger time frame because I want to know where we are relative to the major flows. This is just a really good idea, so I encourage you to get into the habit of doing that. Okay, so here we start on the weekly chart. What I want to do, I want to notice where we are relative to key price points. Excuse me, and you can see here that we had a gap, which is important to note. Prices came up, and then from this low we went all the way down here. So anything above here is a pretty key point of interest, and so this is what you want to pay attention to on this time frame. Also, we had a zone here that removed this and this and this and some other levels just there, and we gapped higher. We came on it, we bounced, and we cut through it. But the origin of the move that cut through it is actually, let me move my pencil, show you where that is. It's here. The prices went down, went up, and then we went down. And so this is where we want to pay attention to. And so this is a sell zone. Okay, for this zone here, this is where prices went back to, and so pay attention to that and try and find those on the chart, because these are the ones you want to pay attention to. And price, as expected, came to that area and we moved away. So what you would do is you would take this information with you on the small time frame. Let's go to the hourly chart. You would just look for prices reacting. I think this is here. You see price reacting. So this is price moving up into that. You see we tested that area here. We failed. We went above. Then we failed. And so this is price sensitive. So when you see something like that, and you have something that looks like that, this is what you want to pay attention to. Prices touch that. Let's just remove all of these. Boom. Let's go out so we have it all the way to the end. This is the zone. And we know that we move through it because here's the test, liquidity exploration, prices start to break down. This is where you want to target for an entry here. We had a little zone here that was tested. Let's put another line here, tested, sell zone. So price is going to react to this. This is a sell zone, and this is the supply. So moving over, let's see what price does when it gets there. So this is the first. We didn't quite get there. The second one, here we got to it, and then we moved away. Okay, we're trying to race high. We had liquidity exploration. When you have higher, beyond, and then down, I mean, that's just a really good place to trade, because you're going to see these all over the place. Okay, so keep in mind when price does that, when price moves beyond those hysterical time-based liquidity price points. Price went beyond, then we moved down. And so in here, there's going to be a price structure and a small pattern that you can trade from. And I took this trade here. You can see the entry here and the exit just here. Excuse me. You want to pay attention to those because they're super important. And this is a very common behavior. So again, we started on the weekly chart, and then we went to the smaller time frames. We were able to remove all of those little zones. And down here, we have price-based liquidity on this weekly chart. So when price comes down here, you can expect prices to have a difficult time moving through it. Okay, when price left here, we moved above these highs here, so we moved into sell zone, which is essentially this little price nodule here. Supply, sell zone, we tested that, so prices are likely going to either revisit the high maybe here, move a little bit deeper to find some offers to drive prices lower. And this is just a very obvious place right here. This is just a super clean area of demand. You can see we had some rejection here from this little price point here. When price left here, we went below this low here. Tested, removed. This is the zone. Pay attention to that in the future. So when prices get down here in the future, you want to be made aware of that. But this is a weekly chart. That could be very far out into the future. But you can take loads of trades on these price structures as prices move up into these extreme levels, as we can see just here. And I've done that quite a lot, as you can see. We go to the pound American dollar. Where are we? Looking for the same kind of thing. And we got a nice zone here. Prices rallied. We had a little zone here. This is just a price sensitive area. Prices are turning around from there. Turned around, we formed some supply, and we left. Went all the way down here, moving below all of these key lows. Okay, so this is where I would expect prices to react from in the future. Okay, so keep in mind, and we can keep buying until we get up to there, because prices will likely continue to move higher, because there's not a lot here. We're probably going to see a little bit of resistance around this price point here, and we're still not quite there. So just keep that in mind when you see that. We go down to the hourly chart, and I've got this little zone here marked off. Let's see if we can find something there. And essentially, so let me go back up here to the daily. Yeah, we want prices to break down, and they're probably going to continue to wriggle higher until we find that. Here on the daily chart, we also have this little zone, and this is not only because the software found it, excuse me, but because it's an important zone. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat there. We had another one here. Price went above, moved above here, tested, departure. A little zone, attempts to move into it, failure, tests, price went through it. Where's the origin of the move that went down? It's these highs here, around here. So if we put a line around there, kind of an average of those, it's around here. We came to it here, more or less, and we moved away. Tested, came back down, picking up some bids. This is a clue. Got to pay attention to this. Come on. When prices establish a zone like this, and then they rip below it, I mean, this is bid. Oops, this is bid territory. Lots of buying here, which is what we can see very clearly here. So this is going to be price sensitive in the future. So when prices return here, we're probably going to see an influx of buying pressure from around here. Okay, so keep that in mind. Back to the weekly chart. We're just going to go through these one at a time. American dollar, Japanese yen. So we've got a big weekly zone, tested. We went down here a little. We went to here, went a little bit lower, and here you can see we did not violate the low, and so this is telling us that we have a parent-child relationship. We had big departure, and now prices are probably seeking bids before we can move to the other side of this price structure. And so it's buying territory around here. Let's go to the smaller time frames. Yeah, and I'm just targeting this low right here. Oops, what's that all about? What's that? Okay, so again, we have that same thing right here where we had sideways price movement, and what happened? Prices picked up some bids, and then we left. Okay, this is price sensitive in the future, and this is likely where prices will return to. You can go to the edge of the box here, or kind of the meat of it all. You decide, whatever works for you. Just going to put it around here. And these are set and forget entries. You don't have to fiddle with these too much, because price will either come in here and tear through it, likely not, or you'll get a manageable reaction out of that. Excuse me, gosh. So keep those in mind. They're super important. Okay, it's very, very clear on this time frame. You can see a little zone right there. We've got our entry right around there. So this is where I think we'll see our next reaction. We've not yet been back to that. You can see the lows. Price is waiting. Still having troubles getting in there, which is a good sign. So we can expect prices to move back into there and give us a reaction, and then move to the other side of the dealing range. Okay, back on the weekly chart. Pound, Japanese yen. Got a bit of a cold. You wouldn't believe it, but it does get cold in Bali, especially in the evenings with the rain. And it's not raining. It's not rainy season at the moment, but it's cooled down quite a bit. So when you go out in the evening and you come home on your motorbike and you only have a t-shirt on, flip-flops and shorts, and you kind of shock the body a little bit by those lower temperatures. And when I say lower, I mean I don't know, 24 degrees, which is kind of chilly, then you pick up a cold, which is no fun. Okay, so here, little zone, not a good one. You see, we didn't really do anything, and so my attention is immediately taken to this right there. This would be a place where I'd be super keen on selling. British pound, Japanese yen, it's going to be expensive to sell that. You'll be paying swaps overnight for that. But that's what we have. So I would ideally wait for prices to go up here. This is an interesting one because when we left here, we had huge inefficiencies poking down into here. Okay, and so I reckon prices will continue to wriggle higher and then react up here somewhere. Okay, we tried, failed, tested this one, and now we're looking to accumulate some buy orders to drive prices higher. I do have an order in here. That's probably a 1 hour, 4 hour. That's just here. Yeah, I'm going to take that off and reassess there. Kind of a messy zone just there. So I'll wait. But you could certainly trade this down, kind of moving down a little bit from here. You could even get in at like just a market order here because this is a decent area here on the daily chart. We're kind of testing these highs here, so that's kind of a big deal. So expect prices to wriggle down, and this is, I think, the zone that I was looking at right here. This is the daily zone. Let me see if it is. Mark that off like that. Let me go to the 1 hour and see what that looks like. I think it's that messy zone. Yeah, this is the 4 hour kind of messy zone. Yeah. And so ideally, no, this is my entry here. So I was looking at this and I thought, well, we've already been tested, so prices are probably going to move lower. And this is just not maybe an interesting level here. So I'll just wait. Okay, so nothing to do there besides maybe just get in a market, putting the stops over the highs here. That could work out quite nicely there. Going to the Aussie dollar, back on the weekly, where are we? You can see I'm just trading a lot, kind of getting into the highs and the lows throughout these price movements here. But where do we have some structure? Okay, so here we had a little zone, tested, price sat on it. We moved through it. The origin of that move is here. So this is likely where prices are going to bounce. Okay, so keep those in mind. And again, we have that sideways price, liquidity exploration. When prices start trading above that, it's time to long, to buy. So you're likely going to have a bias, even though it looks messy like this on the smaller time frames. There's going to be lots of micro supply and demand. They're going to help you refine your entry there. Okay, so moving on to the American dollar, the Canadian dollar. This is a weekly. Yeah, this is a really nice zone down here. Test, 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 test. Failure, success. So I'm just going to whack this on there because I like that. Right there. Okay, I'm going to get this off. We're closer to this one. I like that a lot. Okay, so I think if prices come down in here, let's see if we can refine that entry. Yeah, we could probably refine that a little bit. Maybe move it down there. Make our position a little bigger. Okay, so we've got that. And this one here is just, there's a lot of accumulation here. Here's a departure candle. And so, yeah, the software placed the zone below at the buy zone. Here's a slingshot just here. This is the edge of that zone. And so this would ideally be where you'd want to get in. But I'm going to take a stab at this one here. Maybe that's a little bit ambitious. Let's start off with a 1-to-1-ish. And then we'll see what we have there. Okay, back on the weekly. Continuing. Euro Aussie. Where do we have the price imbalance? We got a big one right there. And again, we can see super clearly. See, it's not, you don't have to overcomplicate this. We've had a lot of respect for this price point here. All of a sudden, price goes to it. goes through it. Where's the origin of it? This right here. So this is where you would get in. This is where your entry would be. Let me remove these. Okay, so this would be a super interesting spot right there. So I'm going to do a buy right around here. Stops below. Like so. 1 second, please. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, so this is just a nice departure. Nice imbalance. You can see the buy zone right there. So this would be a reasonable place to expect a reaction. Okay, where are we going to go from here? Let's have a look. We have some price imbalances from up here. This is price sensitive for sure. Is price going to go up here? I don't know. You can put it. We'll put it like that, and we'll leave it, and we'll see what happens. If we get stopped out, then we'll maybe try and buy a little bit low. We also have a little spot right here. This is a week monthly chart though, so that's like ages away. So you just trade the ones that are closest to price. On the 4-hour chart, what do we got? This is that zone. So just looking for price imbalances inside. This is that zone right there. Ooh, that's a nice one right there as well. I like that. Failure, 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 failure. Success. Buy zone, buy zone. So prices are likely going to come down lower. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this one and kill it. And I'm going to take a stab at this one here. Going to put my stop below here. There we are. Yeah, and see how that pans out. This is kind of like, prices could come through that, but I like that imbalance. And I like the fact that price did not come back to it. And prices come back and they go away. This is good. This is telling us that we have a buy zone. This is the buy zone for this area of demand. So that could work out nicely. There's not a lot of supply in here, maybe around there-ish. So keep that in mind. Weekly chart. And again, let me jump on the Smart Money playbook quickly. Okay, so here, got the weekly is our higher time frame. My entry time frame is a 4-hour. Okay, so I normally stick to these two. So going here, you can do that. So we have our weekly, which is the biggie. Fine. Okay. Sorry, food has arrived. My wife is hungry, she says. So here we had a really nice spot right there. We tested it. Okay, so what you have to do really is you have to wait for prices to come to these zones, set your alarms, and then go to the smaller time frame and look for those entries. Let's put a line on that zone right there, just the top of the thingy, candle. And we go and we have a look. So this is the top. It doesn't look very pretty, does it, here? Okay, and all you have to do is you have to wait for price to test it and then look for zones to form. And we have a couple of zones. I mean, right there. We got like a pretty decent couple of rebalances. We had this zone that was formed, which was tested twice. Is it going to hold again? I don't think so. I'm going to move this down here. It's risking less than about just under 1%. We'll go like, let's see what that is, 1.6. Okay, we'll leave that like that for the time being. But this is good because we know we're testing huge time-based liquidity, big rejection, great, forming these zones below price. And so this is where you want to buy out. Weekly, where are we? Ooh, that doesn't look very good. Let me go like that. Okay. Oh, this is a really beautiful area. I love that when you have rejection, consumption, test, departure. I mean, this is a wonker. So you could even risk a little more, maybe 1%, 1.5%, just around here, because this is a very likely gonna work out. You have to have course, your limits. You have to know what you're doing and where you're doing it. But this is a very beautiful zone right here. I like this a lot. Okay, so prices are likely to come down here, and they're very likely going to bounce. Okay, and above price, I mean, what do we have? We're stuck in a monthly consolidation, as you can see, reacting at that. Monthly supply tested once, twice, 3 times. What's going to happen? Well, I'm guessing prices are going to move lower. So knowing that, go to your smaller time frames and just find those zones. Where do we have them? We got this one here. It's been tested. But we have some zones above price here as well. See this one just here? Here we have a parent-child. And so you could box those both off. Euro, Japanese yen. Yeah. None of these are terribly high yielding. So you could. I'm not going to do it, but we just put like right around here. Stops above here. And this could be the spot where you would look to engage, which is pretty far away. This is a daily chart. Okay, going a little down the smaller time frames, wriggling along and just looking for those price sensitive points. Yeah, nothing to do there. Nothing to do there for the time being for me. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, 21 minutes. I'm going to stop. The food has arrived. So I'll leave it at this. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Thanks for watching.